Hi guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to the desktop for another retro RPG. And this week, after doing our video on Greg Costikyan, I would like to present this. Violence, the role-playing game of Egregious and Repulsive Bloodshed. Not recommended for readers or players under the age of 18. Actually, we're not sure it's recommended for anyone. You can just make out the text there. Also, speaking of just being able to make out the text, they've done this fake thing here where they put the label over the top, Designer X, but you can read through by Greg Costikyan. This is a new style game by Hogshead, which came out in 1999. And it's less of a game and more a look into the way that gamers play games. Let's go through the book and then I'll discuss that towards the end. So, starting with the back cover. Sex and drugs and lock and load. In Violence, award-winning designer Designer X has combined the style of classic dungeon-bashing RPGs with modern-day firepower and gritty urban setting to produce the ultimate bleeding-edge game of non-stop mayhem and gore. Violence leads you to the charred heart of contemporary culture and shows you the true horror that lies within. Something like that. Or alternatively, you can just kill things and steal their treasure, like gamers usually do. Let's not mess around. This is not a nice game. It's bloody, it's brutal, it's dark and evil, with a twisted sense of humour. It uses rude words. Excessive is not enough to describe violence. Bad taste doesn't even get close. This is role-playing answers to the snuff movie. It's not for sensitive people. If you feel you might ever fly into psychotic rage and kill all your co-workers with an AK-47, put it down and walk away. Please, we don't need that kind of publicity. Violence comes with 10 free Violence Experience Point certificates, kick-ass art by Clint Langley, and the darkest sense of humour of any RPG since Paranoia. It does not include dice, pencils, character sheets, or anything even vaguely resembling morality or good taste. Consider yourself warned. And they've done the whole by Designer X everywhere, although we'll come to the end where it breaks that completely. So inside, playtesting Surely You Jest. Editing James Wallace, who ran Hogshead. Designed by Designer X and art by Clint Langley. Now, there's a lot of swear words in this, which I'm not going to read out, although you can obviously see them on the screen. Violence is a study on role-playing, really. It's not really a game, although there are rules, and in theory, I suppose you could play it. But it's looking at the way that role players treat intelligent beings in role-playing games. Although that's getting very high and mighty and psychological about it, because it really doesn't do that in any detail. It's a bit of a laugh at it. So it's looking at the way that in Dungeons & Dragons, you'll walk into the Orc's lair, you'll kick open the door and you'll kill all the monsters within. But in Violence, it's taking it into a modern setting. So you're kicking open the door and discovering a young family within, and you're shooting them all to steal their treasure. The husband, the wife, the kids. Innocent people not wanting to do anybody any harm. So I'll keep going through it. We've got the welcome chapter, what it is, what you need to play. They put a lot of Violence TM there, that you need to get the trademarked dice, and you need to buy the experience tokens and all that. You need sugary snacks. You'll need an imagination. We've got character creation, which is, again, just mocking character creation. Different types of dice. Weapons. Hard, addictive, illegal drugs. A note about guns. Different dice rolls, skills. And we get right through the combat and all the damage tables and everything, and we're into innocent bystanders. So, the idea that if you shoot a gun, it's not going to get stopped by the wall. It's going to go through and kill a granny in the next flat or apartment. Drugs, how it's an attitude Violence has towards them. What is the designer's attitude towards drug? They can be fun. Most of them are effing illegal, and you really don't want to spend the next several years in the big house as the homosexual F-slave of a large tattooed gentleman named Bruno. No, the police have no sense of humor about this, and so on. It's a very dirty read. It's very funny. Greg Costikyan is absolutely hilarious in his writing, and it is him being let off the leash for the first time since Paranoia, perhaps even more so. We've got a section on sex there, coming soon from Hogshead Publishing. Dungeons and Discipline, the BDSM role-playing game. Talking about how Vampire got into the goth community, so perhaps they can get into the fetish community. Decent law-abiding citizens. And it details the people that the players might harm. Country girl, she's just out of college, she came to the big city full of hope and dreams for her future. She daydreams of meeting the right guy and experience the kind of deep romantic love she's only read about. She waits tables or does mind-deadening HTML hack work or copy edits manuscripts while waiting for a big break as an actress, writer, rock and roll singer. Skipping through, I imagine you'll gang rape her until she bleeds and then steal her pathetic little stash of cheap jewelry. It has some skills here about how she's a nice person and then how you will destroy her life, basically. And that's what it's got. So we've got grandmas, she survived the death camp, she's got the tattoo, and then she's going to meet her death at the hands of guys who are worse than the Nazis because they're not even as disciplined. Mom with Small Children, where it details how the kids will learn how horrible the world is as they watch their mother die in front of their eyes at the hands of the players. Amusingly enough, this came out in 1999, as I said before, which is before I certainly knew about Al-Qaeda. And obviously it's before 9/11 in 2001. They've got a Bin Laden cell here. So terrorists. And it mentions them having the blueprints for the World Trade Center on their wall, which I thought was looking ahead. I know that Al-Qaeda had attempted to blow up the Twin Towers before by putting a van in their basement, but having read this and not even knowing how to pronounce Bin Laden, it came as a bit of a shock on 9/11 when I'm like, oh, wait a second, I remember those people from a game I read. We've got the details of the police, citizens, general types of pigs, general issue pig, chopper copper, bike pig, horsey pig, undercover pig, narc, pig lieutenant, SWAT teams. And then we go through to treasure. How much money you're going to get off people, what you're going to get, credit cards, jewelry, portable electronic items, drugs, weapons. What kind of residents or different apartments are that you're going to rob. Random generation of apartments that you kick in the doors of. It's not really a game. It's definitely a criticism of how we play. And then we get to the end where, after giving you some ideas for adventures, we then say about the author. Greg Costikyan sent us this text. Violence, the game of Egregious and Repulsive Bloodshed is designed by Designer X. Blah, blah, blah. Haha, we promised him we wouldn't actually use his name in this game, but we're not fools. It's bound to sell a few extra copies if we slap his name on it. He designed Paranoia, Toon, and Star Wars role-playing game, okay? Boy, is he going to be steamed, though. Best not to ask him to sign your copy. And that is Violence. It's nice. It's a very, very funny read. It's very, very rude. And although I think it's a bit heavy-handed in its view of what we gamers do, because it's also making comment on games like Doom and Quake, where you're just running around shooting people like a psychotic madman. And this is the game of playing psychotic madmen. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. As always, please like and subscribe if you hear me skirting around swear words to try and avoid the YouTube algorithm killing me. And I'll catch you later. Bye.